What is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, by the title of this video and who is on the screen, JonBenét Ramsey, y'all already pretty much get my drift of what this video is gonna be about today, right? So, recently, you know, if y'all are avid watchers of Netflix, or if you go on the streaming app much, you would have seen that they put out a documentary and, you know, going over probably the most famous cold case in American history with JonBenét Ramsey, who was supposedly killed in 1996 at the age of 6 years old. So in this video, y'all already know how we do on this channel. We're not necessarily trying to solve the supposed murder of JonBenét Ramsey. You know, people have their theories of, obviously, the mom and the dad. A bunch of different theories out there, right? But in this video, we're not necessarily trying to figure out who did it. This video is mostly going to be about if this was even real at all. So the time I spent researching stuff about JonBenét Ramsey and just going back over it, I even watched just a little bit of the Netflix documentary, but, you know, I quickly realized I was not going to finish it because there's no point, you know, in trying to solve something that wasn't meant to be solved. Now, y'all know we talk about stuff like this a lot on the channel, especially when it has to do with psyops and Freemasons and murder mysteries, especially the ones that are, I guess, exactly what I just said. They are not meant to be solved. Most of the time we're dealing with energy harvesting rituals to see how the public reacts with these murder mystery cases that, you know, was as big as JonBenét Ramsey. Now, I'm going to expand on that a little bit more as we dig into some of the reasons why I feel that this entire thing was a psyop. Now, as always, it's not to be like, you know, I guess cruel or to not have sympathy for real cases out there. Y'all know I'm not that kind of person, because I really like to talk about those cases, especially things that have to do with the little ones, you know, as far as abuse and everything. And I don't put past the fact that parents will do stuff like this to their own kids. We see it all the time. But this one in particular, I feel is very different. And I'm going to talk about that more with y'all. And I'm pretty sure, you know, if you've never thought of it, this video may convince you that something is not right here. So with that being said, y'all, we'll go ahead and jump back to 1996 with an original news clip from when it happened. This might have been a couple months or a year after. It was like an update on the case. So this clip comes from 96 or 1997. But anyway, I like to have that texture of the original footage in the video when I can find it. Y'all already know how we do, man. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
While JonBenét Ramsey's name is well known, her killer is still anonymous.
The morning of December 26, 1996, investigators are called to a kidnapping that quickly becomes a murder investigation. The case is anything but normal. JonBenét Ramsey's parents, wealthy and prominent in the Boulder community, tell police they found a 3-page handwritten ransom note on the back staircase of their home. Police find no signs of forced entry, no footprints in the snow. John Ramsey tells them he locked all of the doors before going to bed. Police search the home but find nothing.
We were gearing up to manage a kidnapping situation.
Hours pass without any word from a kidnapper. Police ask John Ramsey to check the house to see if anything is out of place. Ramsey, it is later reported, immediately heads to a room in the basement. Minutes later, he emerges holding his daughter's body. The autopsy indicates JonBenét was found with a ligature around her neck, a fractured skull, and that she had been sexually assaulted. According to search warrants, police believe Patsy Ramsey wrote the ransom note, but have no conclusive proof. In April, the Ramseys give their first formal interview to police, and Boulder DA Alex Hunter publicly calls the Ramseys a focus of the murder investigation.
But let me assure you that I did not kill JonBenét.
I did not kill my daughter, JonBenét.
The Ramseys say an intruder killed their daughter. Meanwhile, the police investigation is crumbling. The lead investigator announces in October he is leaving the force. Nearing the first anniversary, police introduce a new lead investigator, Mark Beckner, who assures the news media and the public the case is not stalled.
I'm confident that it will be solved, yes.
And Beckner says the Ramseys are still a focus of the investigation.
All right, y'all. Now, we can just start off with some simple numbers that will clearly tell you something is not adding up. Well, it is adding up, but, as in this entire thing being a energy harvesting ritual, this lays it out without even really doing too much digging. Remember, this was back in 1996, way before the social media era of everyone tying these kind of things together. Now, I don't mean that, people weren't on this kind of knowledge, but y'all know it's completely different now, right? So just going back to when she died, nearly 3 decades after 6-year-old JonBenét was found dead in her home in Boulder, Colorado on December 26, 1996, the identity of her killer remains a mystery. She was 6 years old. She died on the 26th in the year 1996. It's like, all right, right there, we already get so much numerology with the supposed death of JonBenét Ramsey. One other thing to note that has to do with the numerology of JonBenét Ramsey's death is this. Check this out. Some of y'all might remember this if you've, went over this case slightly, right? It says June 20th, in another bizarre sidelight to the JonBenét Ramsey murder, the man who admitted stealing 2 pages of the morgue log that recorded the girl's death is now accused of trying to burn down the family's Boulder home. So, a guy named James Michael Thompson supposedly stole 2 pages out of the morgue that basically would have recorded her body coming into the morgue. Now, I didn't find anything that they got the papers back or there is actual record of her body coming into the morgue. It already makes you think about, even going back to the clip that we just watched, they said the case got really political. It wasn't investigated properly, so on and so on. A lot of this stuff just really starts to add up to it not actually being real in the first place when you really listen to it. Like, when you listen to the simple stuff and not focus on so much of human error when it comes to investigating the supposed case as if it was real. But check this out. Remember, she was 6 years old. Died on the 26th, 1996. Police arrested James Michael Thompson, a Denver area artist, also known as J.T. Colfax, on suspicion of first-degree arson and third-degree criminal trespass. According to an arrest report, James Michael Thompson was 33 years old. He confessed to trying to burn down the Ramsey home at 755 15th Street, where 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey was found strangled on December 26. Ain't that something? According to an arrest report, Thompson, 33 years old, y'all. He was 33. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in the first couple of scenes on the documentary on Netflix that they just released, I think the station that handled the case was on like 33rd Street, or it was like 33rd something. Now, check this out right here, y'all. Something I rarely do. I was watching the Netflix documentary. Mind you, I probably watched, 22 minutes? I maybe watched 10 more minutes after this. This is literally a screenshot from my TV. I had already saw the guy was 33 years old who tried to burn down their house, right? And then I was like, wow, City of Boulder, Public Safety Center, Police Communications, 1805 33rd Street. I was like, oh my God. It's right there in your face. It is right there what we are looking at. 33rd Street. They just happened to capture this in the first 22 minutes of the show. This is a screenshot from my TV, y'all. You're welcome to go check it out for yourself. I'm not making it up. The numbers are there. So we already know what this is. Without really going any further, there is already a very good chance that this was not real, y'all. This was not real. One more thing, right? Now, this was an article about JonBenét Ramsey's dad, John Ramsey, right? And his wife, Patsy, right? Weird that her name is Patsy. So it says, sadly, that's precisely what happened to 6-year-old JonBenét when she was killed on that cold December day, right? And they're talking about her being killed basically on Christmas. I think about it, it's like the perfect story, you know? It's one of those things that are really tugging at your heart. A young girl, very, very young girl, a young white girl at that, 6 years old, you know, goes missing or whatever in her own home on Christmas Day, you know, right at Christmas. It's very, very much a energy harvesting ritual, y'all. Think about how much energy was harvested off of this ritual from people back in this time. Years, these demons were eating up energy for years off of this case. They were able to study human emotions, study reactions off of this case. I mean, think about where it happened. We just talked about this in a couple of videos ago. It happened in Boulder, Colorado. Aurora Theater shooting, Columbine High School shooting. You had so much that comes out of Colorado. You know, we already know MK Ultra. It is very much so like a military defense type of city. So much goes on there that it's no surprise that this happened there. And Lockheed and Martin just happened to, you know, basically relocate the family. If I'm not mistaken, Lockheed and Martin, I think they're behind this a lot as well, as far as just the way it all happened. They have to have something to do with this. And Lockheed and Martin is who basically contracted John Ramsey and his company. Check this out, though. It says John Ramsey and his wife Patsy found a ransom note before JonBenét's body was discovered several hours later. Before they realized she was dead, the Ramseys was led to believe she was kidnapped and could be saved by giving her abductors $118,000, y'all. Come on. Come on, y'all. Why would they choose 118,000? All you have to do is think about the number 6. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18, y'all. Just think about that. So much numerology around this case. It blew my mind just to read, oh wow, $118,000. Such an odd number. They couldn't just do 100,000. It had to be 118,000. Right? So going on to her dad, John. On December 21st, 1996, 4 days before his daughter was killed, John was celebrating a huge milestone with his employees. Now, this is important. According to the Daily Camera, Access Graphics, Inc., which was John's company, the computer distribution company where John was president had made $1 billion in revenues that year. Think about this, y'all. 4 days before his daughter was killed, the company was celebrating making $1 billion that year. Now, remember, this is, in a sense, like, you know, in a sense, this is like a front for Lockheed and Martin. And I feel like this ritual was a part of that $1 billion company. And also, I feel like it was a part of providing and editing some of the images that I believe to be fake of the JonBenét story.
I do believe that these images could be composite images of real.
Look at that. Like, that's so fucking creepy looking.
That one's very,
yeah.
And that one triggers extreme
composite images of real.
Look at that. Like, that's so fucking creepy looking.
That one's very,
yeah.
And that one triggers extreme
I don't see
because
it.
they didn't have.
No, I would say I don't
networks
see
back
it.
then, but they definitely had compositing, and they were working on doing compositing for a very long time because almost all magazine covers with models and stuff are composite images.
Right.
Even to this day, like they don't like the model is like her face might be there, but like the arms, the body, like most of it's like composite images.
Right.
So that does
And I think it looks, it actually looks pretty good, but there's ones of her that don't look very good at all. Okay. So this was the first picture we ever saw of JonBenét. Go up real quick. Okay. So this one was it. This was the picture that was on all the police binders. This was the picture this was the first picture released to the public before we saw any of the pageants. We didn't see anything. We just got this picture. This picture established a truth that this girl does not exist. And they even changed it because this picture was actually, she had like dead shark eyes, and her eyes are supposedly like this brilliant blue, as you'll see from all the photography. But this picture was dead eyes. It didn't look like the proportions are all off. Her forehead's like 8 inches long.
Yeah, the forehead and the hair is wrong.
And just
it's an adult head.
It's an adult head, yeah.
They changed it. They updated the image a couple of years later, reintroduced it, and got rid of the one up top. They stopped using the one up top. They started using this one because it was softer. It looked a little bit more natural. What do you think about her? Does that look?
I think they all look real. I don't see anything that looks.
All of them look fake to me. Unbelievably fake, irreversibly fake.
Then you are
hyper fake.
Very.
But
different.
You will. No. You will too soon.
What does that mean that they're not real? Does that?
These are actually okay. So this is. I'm so glad you asked because this is the backbone of everything. So these are all amalgamations of millions of faces that a machine learning tool has been fed over time. This is called GAN, Generative Adversarial Network. And this one does faces. It can do anything. You could feed it 1 million pencils and it would learn what a pencil looks like.
This is what DALL-E
and you could
is.
ask, it's essentially what we're seeing happen through DALL-E. But this stuff came out, this particular tool came out in 2014. But it's called GAN, Generative Adversarial Network, and it focuses on faces. This machine learning focuses on faces. And so over time, it's been taking in all of our Facebook profile pictures. It's been taking all of our LinkedIn profile pictures. It's been taking all of our video things that we've started to put out everywhere, like content from what a human face is. There's lots to go on publicly. Like a machine could just go through, gobble up all of those faces that are widely available and begin its input process of learning what a human face looks like.
I do know that they always do composite images for magazines. So, but I do understand this is a reason to look into it because this is genuinely a Photoshop image without a doubt.
Something about it just said, you got to look into this case in a different way.
Yes.
Dude, when I look at this picture, it gives me like such an uneasy feeling in my stomach, like this like soulless, like literal like fluoride black stare.
Void.
Yeah.
And then the fact, okay, right after this, I found out that they changed the picture. This
yes, that's good evidence. That's good evidence.
Because it gave me that heebie-jeebie feeling of like empty void blackness, like darkness, dark night of the soul, you know?
So James, go down to the new picture.
Go down.
Much
warmer.
One more, you have the comparison.
Side by side.
Yeah, so like they fix all the proportions. Very clearly fix them. Like this is what a modern GAN would do. They would instead of a composite image, like
this was a refresh. They just saved the same input, the verbalized input, and just press refresh as the machine.
They just ran her through like the Snapchat
take
thought
multiple
filter.
photos at the same time, right? And they'll change.
No, Jules.
If you take multiple photos, it could be the same photo shoot.
There's elemental.
Jules, do you not see the different axis her eyes are on? And also the fact that her head is a different. No,
I mean, if they were
eyes are wide.
Maybe
if they were applying for
Those is different.
Jules, listen.
If they were
that is not the
for pageants, they could take photos with different cameras.
No, Jules, listen. Look at the picture. The right picture. The eyes have been changed. Their axis is different.
Also, so this is a completely different angle.
Right, eyelids in one, no eyelids in the other.
No, dog. Her eyes have changed from being slanted this way to slanted this way. Her candle is different. Look.
And I said that. I said the changes are subtle but sophisticated.
Now, I thought she explained that very well. I think she may be one of the first people I heard with this theory. If y'all don't see it, you could definitely look at the eyes, just like what they were talking about. They're tilted a completely different way in both pictures. How they said this basically looks like a grown person's head to the left. compared to the right. Proportions are all off. Look how long the forehead is under the hair. The ears look like a grown woman's ears. We all know ears continue to grow as you get older. The biggest thing to notice is how the eyes just roll right into the eyelid, basically. In the left picture, she has an eyelid. In the updated picture, there is absolutely no eyelid. And her pupil, the eye itself, it's not in a circle. The pupils are not in a circle. It's like slanted down into the eye, which lets you know this is computer generated. You can see it. Look, it just goes into the eye. It's not a circle. It actually almost looks darker at the top and lighter at the bottom of the pupil. This is super AI generated right here, y'all. Look at it. Look how dark it is at the top. There's absolutely no eyelid there, y'all. This is an amazing catch to me. Dead in the eyes. There's nothing there in those eyes. Lets you know this is really computer generated. Another way you can tell, it's the same with this guy's eyes. Remember, they went to a website that was, I think it was This Person Never Existed or something. Whatever that website was, a bunch of AI generated faces. His pupils do the same exact thing. They just drop down into the eyelid. There's no circle. It just like droops down. It's not circled at the bottom. Look in the mirror. Look in your friend's face when you see him again. We have perfect circle eyes. These generated images, they can't get it perfect. They can't get the eyes perfect. You know, today is probably completely different maybe, but even in some AI stuff, you could still see the faults. And I was actually blown away. That's why I said I got to give her props, because I was blown away looking at these pictures. But I felt like a lot of them were fake. They had no like feeling. They were very eerie. Even some of her pageant pictures, they just didn't look right to me. And the more you look into the investigation, the more you look into everything, you know, and you think about the fact it happened on Christmas Day. She was found on the 26th. Oh, yeah, she was actually born on August 6th. So many sixes. You know, when you look at it, it just, nothing feels right. You know, this was a huge harvesting ritual, huge ritual that is still being played out to this day for you to never find the truth. It was not done so we can find the truth. So I thought that clip was very interesting, y'all. Here, I do have one last article I want to read to y'all, and it's about the pathologist that did the autopsy and stuff on JonBenét Ramsey, right? So we'll jump into that article so we could get to know him really quick. And we'll go ahead and end this video, y'all. Now, when it comes to seeing the people behind the supposed death of JonBenét Ramsey, I thought it was pretty important to read this article. The article is titled Cyril Wecht, Famed Pathologist Who Analyzed JFK, Elvis, JonBenét Ramsey, and more, including Anna Nicole Smith. He died at 93 years old. Renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht died peacefully Monday at the age of 93. The former medical examiner famously analyzed the death of President John F. Kennedy, Elvis Presley, JonBenét Ramsey, Anna Nicole Smith, and others. He also previously weighed in on the Gabby Petito and Ellen Greenberg cases for Fox News Digital. He was the first civilian permitted to examine the evidence from the assassination of President John F. Kennedy at the National Archives, and the first person to discover that the president's brain and related material was missing. An obituary from the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Court states he was the nation's foremost critic of the Warren Commission's infamous single bullet theory when it ties to JFK. He personally conducted tens of thousands of autopsies, consulted and testified in countless criminal and civil cases, spoke around the world to professional, lay, and student groups, held several faculty appointments, authored dozens of books and hundreds of scholarly articles, and collaborated on numerous film and television projects, including the award-winning films JFK and Concussion. Says he was very smart. He was a lawyer as well. He also worked on the Martin Luther King Jr. murder as well. My point in just reading that quick article because of the people who were tied to her death. And it doesn't surprise me that they got someone so renowned, someone that was so famous already and who is mostly known for being outspoken and working on the JFK assassination. To me, it goes back to what we were talking about in the MK Ultra video with Kamala Harris and Jeff Adachi, who was strangely murdered. And the fact that these people make sure they appoint certain people to the cases so they can control the medical examiner's office. At the end of the day, they are a part of the club. You don't get to work on these type of famous murders or, assassinations if you aren't a part of them. And so with that being said, y'all, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this wasn't one of those videos where I was trying to solve it. Really just trying to show that this was very much a energy harvesting ritual, and they succeeded, at the highest levels back in 1996. I think it's a very good theory that, this may have not been real from the jump. There's a very good chance that this was a psyop. A very good chance. Like I said, it's not that I don't have any sympathy or that, I don't recognize this stuff happens. I let y'all know that. I have to say it again for the people who decide to not hear that part of the video. I do enough on, the little ones being abused, especially sexually or trafficked. So I'm very aware of what happens. And, I'm aware of the rumors of her dad possibly doing that to her as well. If this was even real to begin with. And I'm very aware of the brother being, highly questionable at that time as well. I thought this was worth a video to do on and bring up that theory because it is very, very convincing in my eyes. And we already know how, basically these Hollywood scripts, / mystery murders can be. We covered quite a few on this channel. So yeah, man, y'all definitely let me know what y'all think about that video. I loved all of the comments that I've been getting on the Fallen Angel video. I definitely will look to do another part or just go a little bit deeper, talk about some other people that are involved in those same kind of rituals. Maybe we could get an entire video just about Aleister Crowley and, just keep going down the rabbit hole, man. So I really do appreciate y'all. And with that being said, it is Black Balloon. And I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.